Hello guys, this is part 1 of the Tlog Express application that logs the user's location coordinates to the server. And as I have said in the previous video, I'm not going to be going over the interface, but if you guys want the interface, you can just go ahead and download it on my GitHub page here. Just please make sure after you download the interface, you put the interface inside the folder called views. And then after you put all the files inside the interface in this folder, you will do an npm init. After you do an npm init here, you will have your package.json file, and then you just install two dependencies, which is express and body-parser. I will explain what they are used for. Obviously, we're gonna need express. We're making an express app. I'll explain what body-parser is used for later. And in this part 1, we're going to be making a simple express server. We're going to make the server to show us the client page, and we're also going to be making data transfer from the client to the server. So after this tutorial, you should be able to do these things, which are very easy stuff. So first of all, we're just going to start coding. We're going to need express. So var express equals require express, and then var app. App is an instance of express, so we need it as well. So express, and then we need body-parser. Body-parser, which is supposed to require body-parser, and then we also need path module, which is equals to require Now, the reason I'm not showing you how to do the npm init, how to install dependencies, is because if you're learning Express, I believe that you're already flexible on how to use Node.js. If you're not flexible on how to use Node.js, you can go to YouTube, look for videos on how to use Node.js. There are a lot of videos. I prefer you watch Travis Media. I watch it a lot, and it really taught me a lot about Node.js. And yeah. So after we do this, we have to configure our view engine. So I'll explain what view engine it is in part 2, because that's when we're going to really use it. But now we're just writing the code for it. We're not going to use it. The code is useless in this part 1. You know what? Let me just skip this part, because we don't need a view engine if we're not going to use it. I will explain it in part 2. So now we have our app module. We have our app. So we have to configure the middlewares. And just say app.use. Going to use express.static, and going to use path.join the name views. Now, what is express static? Well, express static is some sort of function that allows us to pass any form of data, any form of media to the server. Pictures, CSS styles, everything. So if you use that method where you just say response.send index.html, you will not be able to get the styles, you will not be able to get the images, you will just get the I don't know what it is, I don't know what to call it, but it will be very ugly and it will not be the way you want it to be unless you didn't even put any styles or any kind of media in your page. But if you did, you're gonna have to use express.static. It will serve out static files. Then another thing you have to use is the body parser. Now, what body parser is used for? It allows you to pass data stored inside of forms to the server. So yeah, it allows you to pass data stored in forms to the server. Okay, so now we have to configure our server. Config server. You just say app.listen. We're listening on port 3000, and we're gonna get a console.log after that, which tells us that our server is running. So we have server running on port 3000. Now, if we just run this simple code, we will get our client page. You will go in views, as I've said, static to views. You will go to views, and then we'll look for a HTML file, and then it will serve that file and everything that is inside of this, which means if this file has a style that is inside here, we will be able to access that style because we did not use the rest.send. So let's test this out. If I go to my command line and I say node server, you will see the server is running on port 3000. So if I go to port 3000, I will see my HTML page is being served. But now if I click this button, I will get something that says it cannot post to log. Now what does this mean? Which means the server cannot interpret this form. We did not, sorry about that. It does not know anything about this form. So we have to make our server to be able to take up the information that is stored in this form. For instance, if I say joy and I submit, the server should be able to get this name and use this name for other things. Now, to do this, we're going to look at some other properties of the HTML file. So when you do the form must have an action. They must have an action and a method. So because we are taking data from the client page to the server, we have to post. We're posting the data, and then with the action, this is the route where we want to post our data to. It will be used in the server, and then with the input, because this is where the user will enter the name, the input must have a name so that we're able to get the value inside our server. So to do this, we just say app dot, because we are posting data, we'll say post, and then what we have to do next is our action. This is where our action goes. We'll say log, and then we will have a request. We'll have a request and a response. Okay, what's going on? This is not right. Yeah, it should be like that. My goodness. Let me just fix this. Jesus. Okay. Yeah. Now it's fine. So we will have something like this. Now what we have to do now is to take the name. So we have to assign the name to a variable, which is going to be request.body.name. And then we just want to take the name and post it, not to the client console, but to the server console, so that we can see that the name has really reached the server. So we're going to say console.log, console.log. We'll just log the name to the server. Then after we did this, for this, we just have to restart our server. Now, if we go to that page, let me just refresh. And if I say my name is Joy, here it will just load forever because I did not specify what it should do after it has logged the name. But if I go to the server, I should see my name written on the server. You will see my name is Joy. Now, if I go back again to this point and I say my name is Learning, it will just load again. But on the server, you will see my name will pop up. Sometimes it does this. Let me just, yeah, there's my name, Learning. Okay, so that's how you do data transfer from the client to the server. In the next video, we're going to be looking at how to do data transfer from the server to the client, like how do you take information from the server to the client page. And then we're also going to be making dynamic forms in pure JavaScript. That's why JavaScript was very important. And we're also going to be playing around with HTML5 geolocation feature to track people around. So see you in the next video. And please, if you have not subscribed, subscribe, like, comment. Whether you like the video or not, just say something. It's better to say something than to keep quiet. Goodbye, guys.